Remember what I'm saying. I know you have the ability to make the judgment. I know that you can come to a reasonable determination, but no matter what, don't do the same thing again.
Welcome to Cards and Constellations with Bonnie Morris and Don Rumor Rivera from Sonoran Mystic Tarot. Here, we blend astrology and tarot to guide you through the twists and turns for the week ahead. Don't forget to hit subscribe and share. Let's dive into your cosmic journey together.
Hello. The moon this week on Friday, the 1st, August 1st, we have the first quarter in Scorpio at 27 degrees, 33 minutes. Now remember, during the first quarter, we do all the work on whatever project you've chosen. And to find that out, we step back and find the new moon in Scorpio. That occurred on November 1st, 2024 at 9 degrees, 34 minutes of Scorpio. So check, where do you write your intentions down? I hope you did. That will tell you what you're working on right now. Then we have to move forward and find the full moon in Scorpio. That occurs on May 1st of 2026 at 11 degrees, 20 minutes of Scorpio. That's when everything becomes lit up. You can see the whole project, and if it's not exactly what you want, you tweak it. And then we pivot and start to turn away. We have to look for the last quarter moon now in Scorpio. It happens on January 29th, 2027 at 9 degrees, 7 minutes of Scorpio. And that's where we celebrate our success and turn away, allow the project to move on by itself, and we wait for another new moon. Now, in the void, of course, we're going to take a look on July 28th. The void, of course, begins at 5:56 p.m., and that is Mountain Standard Time, Phoenix time, at 27 degrees, 32 minutes of Virgo. It ends that day at 10:43 p.m., and that's when it enters into the sign of Libra. Then again on the 29th, at 8:58 p.m., the void begins at 11 degrees of Libra. It ends on the 31st. Now, remember that. That's a long void, okay? It ends on the 31st at 10:25 a.m., and that's when it enters into Scorpio. I'll pause here and remind you, during a void, you never start a project because it likely will have to be redone. So unless you like practice, be careful. Finish up projects, fold the laundry, do the dishes, whatever it is that you can do, but don't start anything new. Okay, so we still have 5 planets in retrograde. But first, let's go to August 2nd. We have the last void at 6:06 p.m., 27 degrees, 33 minutes of Scorpio. It ends that night at 11 p.m. when it enters into Sagittarius. Again, we still have 5 planets in retrograde. Pluto's in Aquarius. Both Saturn and Neptune are still dancing in Aries and Pisces. And Mercury in Leo. Now, we also just started with Chiron in retrograde in the sign of Aries.
So, Miss Bonnie, if I hear right, it sounds like this week, no matter what sign you have, it's going to be a complicated week. Something's happening. Can you help me understand that?
Sure. This week, we start out the week, I think it starts on Tuesday. We see a kite formation. Now, a kite formation is a specific pattern formed by a grand trine, a big triangle, 3 planets. It's harmonious, it's good energy, but there's also an opposition. The point of the head of the kite to the tail, that's a tug of war. That's where things get sticky. The opposition is also linked to the other 2 planets in the grand trine. So it creates this kite shape when you look at the chart. At the end of the week, it gets even more complicated. We have 2 kites, and they're pulling us in 2 different directions.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
There's also
And then you have these long voids that have been
Yeah,
growing longer and longer. And you, like you said before, about 2 weeks ago, we had one of the longest voids you've seen. And this week, once
it's
again,
even
we have an exceptionally long void.
Yep, absolutely. And of course, there are also a lot of squares. Now, squares in a chart means that you have to act on something. If you don't, things are going to get real sticky. So, yeah, it is a real complicated week for everyone.
Oh my gosh. Then I guess we better get into the individual reading and see how this coordinates with the next sign up.
Well, Aquarius, starting out this week, we've highlighted a square on the chart. This square is between Venus and Saturn. There's also Venus in a square with Mars. That square between Saturn and Venus may bring early lessons around emotional boundaries and trust you may approach your love with caution, sometimes influenced by your past disappointments and fear of rejection. You may prioritize security or duty over emotional expression. With time and healing, you can learn to soften your inner defense and open up to more joyful and reciprocal connections. On Tuesday, the 29th, you'll see a highlighted triangle, or a trine, as I call it. This is a component of a kite. A kite is a specific aspect pattern. It's formed by a grand trine, which are three planets in a harmonious aspect. It's good, positive energy. It's supportive energy. The opposition is where we get in the problem. The head of the kite is pointed at Saturn. The tail of the kite is the moon, which is all your feelings. So you're going to get into some feelings here. Okay, the tail moon. So we have the planet Saturn of responsibility in the opposition to the moon, which is all your feelings. So you may feel like you want to go out with some friends, but Saturn's saying, hey, you got some homework to do. You need to get in here. So there's that tension. Which way do you go? You have to find that compromise to relieve that tension. Okay, next at the top of the kite on chart D, I have highlighted two sextiles, the head of the kite, as I call it. Uranus to Saturn is harmonious, allowing tradition and innovation to support one another beautifully. This will give you excellent problem-solving skills and original thinking. The ability to carry your vision into reality with some steady effort. You are progressive, yet grounded, and able to bring structure to change and maturity to creative thinking. Pluto to Saturn is harmonious, which gives you strong inner resolve, ambition, and the ability to carry out deep and purposeful work. You might channel your power through responsibility or ethical leadership. Saturn's stability combines with Pluto's intensity to support long-term growth, materially and spiritually. It's an excellent placement to build lasting legacies. Next, there are three oppositions on chart E. We've covered two of those. We have covered two of those. The third one appearing on this day is between Uranus and the moon. Uranus being the sign of Gemini, the planet of unexpected surprises. And the moon, which is over in Scorpio, that's the planet of feelings. So the tug of war is between your feelings and some surprise. You must find the compromise. On the last chart, you'll notice not just the kite we've been referring to, but there's a second kite. It's almost perpendicular. And the head of that kite is leading us to Pluto in Aquarius. Now, talk about being pulled in two directions. The tail of that kite is Mercury in Leo. So the opposition between Mercury, which is the planet of thoughts, ideas, communication, technology, he's in retrograde right now, and playing a tug of war against Pluto, the planet of transformation and change. What part of your thoughts and communication need to change in order to find that compromise? Dawn, what do you have for Aquarius?
Well, sounds like Aquarius got some changing to do or some splaining to do. Let's see which way it's going to be in tarot. What does tarot have to say in reference to what we've heard with the astrology side? All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Man, these cards are like just keep rolling and rolling. They don't want to solve yet. What's the story here? Come on, come on, come on. Speak to me, speak to me. All right, there we go. This is what we got. All right. First card out, Judgment card. Ooh, I like that energy. I always like that energy, especially as an individual's energy. Because the Judgment card is one of those energies that it's not sitting in judgment, folks. Okay, let's not go there. Okay, because some of us Scorpions, we would never do that. But you could take it the wrong way. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're good. Judgment in this case is that of using judgment. This is of you putting on your cap this week. This is you're going to be called upon for whatever reason, and we'll find out in the cards down the road. But I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to be called upon in a way that maybe you have not either confronted a situation like this before or not in a while. And then there's going to be complications with it. And therefore, you're going to have to really incorporate your best judgment. And if you're coming at this from the right place, it's going to be beneficial to you. If you come at this choice for the wrong reason, then the chances are you won't pay a price. So and I have no doubt you're going to do the right thing. I totally know that. I get that feeling because that's part of your sign. Because, you're like, let the sunshine in, peace, love, understanding, all that stuff. So this makes good sense that you would make the right choice. But I'm just giving you the heads up because I don't want you to pay a price that you don't like. And then there's this here. There's a 5 of Pentacles. Now, the 5 of Pentacles has a few different meanings. For me, it's definitely one of don't go back. Okay. And so this one is saying, because of it connected to the Judgment card, it's saying, let's not make the same choices because those have not worked out well. So again, as you're confronted with the situation, think of a new way to handle it because what has happened in the past did not work so well. And maybe that's why you're back to where you are in the same situation because you're like, darn, I should have known better. So we're not doing the repeats, okay? Let's make sure we move forward with this. No matter what you decide, it's going to take some patience because this is the Patience and Temperance card. So it's going to take some patience and some understanding. And but again, navigate through it. Remember what I'm saying. I know you have the ability to make the judgment. I know that you can come to a reasonable determination. But no matter what, don't do the same thing again. Make sure that you're not repeating bad habits. You're not repeating the things. And when you make the decision and you do it for the right reason, there's that 9 of Cups, which is that celebratory card. Cheers, raise that glass, and let's celebrate because this is, and it's interesting too, because that whatever this decision is going to bring something to a closure. There's been something hanging out over you or around you for a while. So don't be surprised if what this decision is brings quick closure to something. And it helps you move on because that 9's telling me something's got to really move on. And I love this because this is the alignment card. So whatever you decide to do, know that it's going to align with you because you are that kind of energy. All right. And then you're going to get some rest because the 4 of Swords is here. So whatever it is going to bring you peace. You're going to be comfortable with what you decided. Now, underneath all of this, your overall energy of your environment is that of a 3 of Pentacles. So don't be surprised if people are going to give you their advice because everybody has an opinion. They're just like buttholes. Everybody has one. Doesn't mean they're worth it. I'm telling you. So be aware that everybody's going to have opinion. Everybody's going to tell you what you're doing. And I think it's always good to have that because what you have is free will and you are logical and reasonable. So you'll go through and say, okay, that's beneficial information. That's BS. That's beneficial. That's BS. And then just navigate your way through it. Okay. So know that this week you have lots of people giving you lots of advice, including this person right here and Ms. Bonnie. But we come from a different place because we don't have any dogs in this hunt. So we're coming that you giving you the best advice we can to help you navigate your situation. And so with that said, have an amazing week if you again employ reason, logic, and understanding, and do not repeat the same mistake no matter what. No matter what, even if you feel this is the right choice this time, I'm telling you, the cards are very clear. Don't do the same thing that you've done in the past when faced with this situation. Miss Bonnie, give them some relief. How does this align with the astrology?
Well, I think there's a lot here that applies. I said, number one, Pluto is involved and Saturn. You're pulled both ways. So you have to make the right choice. Where have you gone before? Don't go there again. So decide which way. Spirit is offering a lot of choice here. There's a lot of ability on your part to have ethical leadership, to do the right thing at the right time, even when no one's looking.
I don't even know what to say. All I know is, and that's unusual because I usually have something to say. All I know is this is going to be a bit of a challenge. But again, there's nothing that you can't accomplish as long as it comes from a place of love and light. If you take on this situation and you truly mean well to resolve it in a good and reasonable way so that everybody is okay, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Just don't do what you've done before. That is the big key from both of our points of view. Don't do that again. So let's try something new. While we're trying something new, Ms. Bonnie, how can folks get old advice from two sages continuously on a weekly basis?
Well, if you look down in the lower right-hand corner, there's that subscribe button. Please push that button. We like our buttons pushed. Push that button, set that bell to all. That way, when we post a video or if we go live, you'll get a little message. So you won't have to seek us out. We'll let you know. Now, if you're doing that on Sonoran Mystic Tarot, please hop over to my channel, Your Love Goddess, and do the same thing. Hit subscribe, set that bell. After you've completed that, go to our new channel, Cards and Constellations. Please, we're trying to build this channel. We need help from you. Hit subscribe, set that bell, share it out. Share the video because it can help so many other people, not just you. You never know. It's a ripple effect here. So, and of course, there's always that thumbs up we like. And if you want to, Mr. Technical, if you want to leave us a comment, let us know how you like, if you like this, if you don't. I mean, you're usually pretty free with your opinions. And know that we react to all of them.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Again, folks, have an amazing week. Show us the love. Hit those like, share, subscribe, and follow buttons. And then come back next week and you'll have more information. We'll share with you what you need to know and how it should be received. With that said, love, light, and blessings from Miss Bonnie and her family, me and my family, to you and your family. Have a great one. Bye-bye.